All right, everyone, welcome back to another Game Vault video. As always, I am Captain Beefy with the Game Vault, and I'd like to say rest in peace to the pronouns. Well, maybe. Anyway, looks like Remedy Entertainment may have turned a corner, so let's cue up the music and we will talk about this. All right, so from thatparkplace.com, Sweet Baby Inc. client Remedy Entertainment, who recently did Alan Wake Part 2, overhauls their hiring processing, ending mandatory pronoun declarations. I'll tell you what, if I went and applied for a job that asked me for my pronouns and said it was mandatory, I'd walk away. There's no way I would want to work in that kind of atmosphere. Sorry, I don't care what kind of money you're offering me. Call me what you will, an idiot, whatever. I mean, that's just, to me, that's going to lead to a toxic workplace, and it's going to make me work with people that I'm not only not going to like, but I'm probably going to detest with every fiber of my being and want to strangle, to put it lightly. So, yeah, let's look at this. Remedy Entertainment, a well-known client of Sweet Baby Inc., and the studio behind Alan Wake series, removed mandatory pronoun selection from its job applications, according to a report from Smash JT. On paper, Remedy Entertainment seems to be the last gaming company that would reject divisive and exclusionary hiring practices. The Sweet Baby Inc. client has a long-standing history of advocating against straight white males working in the gaming industry. However, according to YouTuber Smash JT, the Alan Wake developer has taken a step towards actual inclusive hiring by removing mandatory pronoun selection from employment applications. Yeah, I didn't think that was something you were supposed to be able to do, was ask things like, I don't know, color and gender and all that on employee applications. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought, they were just supposed to hire based on the merit of those applying for the jobs. I could be wrong, I know it is illegal to not give someone a job based on the color of their skin, their sex, or anything like that. It is wrong to exclude somebody from even considering giving them a job because of that sort of thing. So that's understandable. So, hey, these guys are taking a step in the right direction. If they actually are, this could be just a ploy. They could be just trying to save face, and they're really continuing these practices behind the scenes. I don't believe anything at this point. It's kind of like we talked about with BioWare the other day, saying that somebody saying that they're reining it in and saying they're not going to put anything political or quote-unquote woke in the release of Mass Effect 5, but it may be patched in later, which would be very, very bad, very sneaky, and very underhanded, and that would enrage people. I know I would be absolutely infuriated if I spent my money on a game, right? I gave you my $70 or whatever it was for the game. I don't care if it was $5 for the game. And later on down the road, you went and patched in some kind of garbage that went against my beliefs, that was not supposed to be in there from the beginning. I'd be pissed, I'd be seriously pissed. Now, companies do stuff like that, underhanded stuff like that all the time. They will change things all the time. And it's frustrating and it's aggravating. And sometimes, you're stuck with it half the time, right? But if it's an ideological thing, that's even worse, Sometimes it'll be things like, they'll add microtransactions later on. And that's aggravating. And you're like, well, you know what? Screw you. I'm not buying your microtransactions, whatever. Anyway, the developer made news when Alan Wake 2 community manager Vida Starkovec expressed frustration with influencer agencies that pitch games featuring wall-to-wall white men. Starkovec, who apparently still works at Remedy, has frequently spoken out about implementing racial and gender quotas in the gaming industry. The company also worked extensively with Kimballaire's Sweet Baby Inc., a narrative consultancy firm known for pushing DEI narrative elements into AAA games. This includes God of War Ragnarok, Spider-Man 2, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, and Remedy Entertainment's commercial flop Alan Wake 2. Now, Alan Wake 1 I played recently. It was fantastic. Alan Wake 2, as of yet, I don't believe has made its money back. If it has, it was only just recently, and the game's been out for well over a year. I think they had some DLC planned for it that was coming out. So maybe, maybe it will make its money back. I believe they race swapped a police officer from a white woman to a black woman, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe they changed the officer itself. Instead of keeping it as the white officer, they replaced her with a black officer. Maybe not just a simple race swap and keeping the name and all that, but just swap the character out altogether. And as far as the game itself, through Alan Wake, you played as Alan Wake the whole way through. In Alan Wake 2, I guess you share time playing as this character, which is kind of silly because the game itself is Alan Wake. A lot of games do that. You'll have moments where you'll play as another character. So it's not unheard of. In God of War Ragnarok, you play as Atreus for a while. His son. In, Resident Evil 4, you play as Ashley for a little bit. So it's not unheard of, but it just feels like something that Kim Belair pushed into the game. It's like, well, he's a white guy. Let's make you play as a black woman for a while too, because I'm a black woman and black women rule. While Alan Wake 2 received critical praise, there's not much financial success that comes with that these days. Smash JT said in his official write-up, virtue signaling cannot be exchanged at banks for cash. It failed to connect with players who actually purchase games. The disconnect here was clearly exacerbated by the game's controversial marketing and narrative choices, rumored race swap protagonists, and other story directions that alienated portions of the fan base Remedy once so effortlessly captivated. Now it seems things might be changing at Remedy. An anonymous insider contacted Smash JT, alerting him to a hiring policy change that removes pronoun selection from the application process. The original application seen above had the usual he, him, she, her, and they, them pronouns. This should not be part of the usual process. But it went far beyond, listing pronouns like ze, them, who, fey, fair. Oh my god. However, Remedy's current application removes the feature entirely. Z, them, her, fey, fair. Wow. Who, am. Custom. That's so bad. I mean, that's really gay. I'm sorry, man. There's no other word for it. This is something that needs to go away completely. Not only in the gaming industry, but everywhere. This is one of the silliest, stupidest, weirdest things. It's a mental illness that has been embraced by far too many people and been tolerated by far too many people and has been normalized far too much and has spread far too... It's gone way too far in the realm of business and all that. Everyone who enables it is just part of this mental illness. Nobody needs this. We don't need to know what your pronouns are, your personal or your preferred pronouns, as I should say. I don't care. I don't care what you want to refer to yourself as. I don't care if you want to be a Z, her, a Z, them. What if I want to be a Z, fair, or a her, M, or, it's beyond the pale stupid, and it needs to go away. So, Remedy, if you're doing this for real, God bless you, man. You are a pioneer, and I hope more companies start doing this because it's perhaps the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I've been around over 50 years, man. I've seen a lot of stupid things in my life. This takes the cake right here. This would tell me you are not a serious company, and I wouldn't want to work for you. Whoever approved this, I'd be like, nah, I don't want to work for you. Because if I have a real issue inside this company and I need to talk to someone in HR, or I need to ask a question, or I need to have a serious discussion with somebody, if I go to my boss and my boss prefers to be fair, I'd be like, I just can't, I'm sorry, I can't talk to you. If my coworker's an AM, I can't talk to that asshole. I'm not. I absolutely would have zero respect for anybody that had to tell me what their personal pronouns were. A he, him, and a she, her. If I looked at you and you look like a he or you look like a she, that's what I'm calling you, and that's it. Nothing else, man. Sorry. Just not that woke. Anyway, the updated application simply asks for your name, email address, phone number, and resume, while providing a box in which an applicant can include a message like a cover letter. While the removal of pronouns from job applications is finally a step in the right direction, it remains to be seen if Remedy's hiring practices will actually reflect a genuine shift back to prioritizing talent and skill over ideological quotas, Smash JT said. If Remedy wants to preserve its legacy and financial viability, these changes must continue to happen. And JT's right, man. He's absolutely right. So what do you guys think? Do you think Remedy's actually turning over a new leaf, or do you think this is just, them faking it, trying to get their feet out of the fire a little bit? Because everybody's in the fire right now. There have been so many. We're going to do a wrap-up a little closer to the end of the year to see how many people exactly were fired this year in this industry. How many people lost their jobs? And we're going to compare it to 2023. 2023 was a very big year, too, as far as job losses go. Thousands and thousands of people lost their jobs. And same thing this year. I think the numbers are pretty comparable, Studios closed, studios downsized. Games just failed to meet their goals or their expectations. And, a lot of people will argue against it, and they'll try to gaslight you and tell you all these different reasons why games failed. But I'm telling you, a big part of it is DEI. DEI played a big part in it. And while it may not have played a huge part in the game itself, like it may not have had the factors involved in the actual game itself, behind the scenes it does. Because if you're not hiring the best of the best to work for your company, you're just filling quotas, and you're hiring people because of the color of their skin, or because they're a woman, or because they're gay, or something other than that, and you're filling these positions not based off of talent and merit, then you're not getting the best people for the job, and they're not putting out the best product you could have. If you had to hire 20 people to fill a role for you, to build a team, and you didn't hire the 20 best people, then you can't expect the best product, right? So you put out a lesser product. And I think that's why we have so many games that are coming out unfinished, unpolished, that they're coming out late, they're lazy. It seems like developers have gotten so lazy lately that they just don't want to finish these games before they release. They're coming out broken, and it's absolutely terrible sometimes. Dialogue. Oh God, don't even get me started on dialogue. I write, and my strength is dialogue in writing. I can make natural conversations. I can create characters that talk, speak with each other, and sound different, and have a rapport that sounds natural and fluid and real. It sounds like real people. I've listened to people my whole life. I've bartended. I've communicated with people face to face my whole life. People from all walks of life, from the gutters to the, to the upper echelons, doctors and lawyers and all that. I've spoken with these kind of people my whole life, and I know how people talk to each other. I think a lot of these writers these days, these are people that were raised on the internet, so all they know is this weird internet speak, and it comes across in the awkwardness in which these characters are written. If any modern game that comes out that's written for the modern audience, that has these young writers in there, these millennials and younger, it's terrible. And I'll mention it again, Marvel's Midnight Suns, man. Go watch some videos on that. So horrible. I loved the gameplay, hated the rapport with the characters, hated the way they talk to each other, despised the mechanics, the friendship mechanics to make yourself bond with different characters to give you bonuses and all that. It's the worst thing ever put in here, and I guarantee you they hired a bunch of females on there, and they're like, ooh, let's put in some friendship stuff so that Wolverine can bond with Spider-Man and they can go watch the stars together and stuff. So gay. Absolutely gay. Anyway, let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think, man? You think Remedy's being honest here? You think they're really going to move in the right direction, start some merit-based hiring? Think we're going to see some better stuff out of Remedy? Think we're going to see it overall in the industry? Maybe we'll see, a turn for the better now. Maybe 2025 is going to be a turning point, and we'll start to see some better games. I don't know. Can't get much worse, can it? I'm Cat the Beefy. If you haven't done so, please leave a like on the video down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and ring that bell for notifications. I'll see you next time. Until then, peace.